This is Kev Millar from the 2004 World Champion Boston Red Sox, and you're listening to Boston's Big Three podcast presented by Ride the Wave Media.
Welcome back to Boston's Big Three, episode 95. Actually 95 this time, not last time. Actually 95 this time. Last week was 94, but, numbers are hard sometimes. We're all college students / grads. So, but this is actually episode 95, Boston's Big Three, presented by Ride the Wave Media. Welcome back. We're going to jump right into things with opening thoughts. What are we thinking about right now?
Daylight savings is the worst. I forgot. All right, so behind the scenes, we're recording this because Babs works late. Brandon's on West Coast time. And I forgot we had this. And I woke up from a quick nap. Next thing you know,
Zombie
I'm on
mode.
this podcast. And I'm beat. But I'll wake up. Here we go.
We got snoozy tie on the show today.
It's 11:30 Eastern time. And if you guys don't like whatever, follow whatever, what are you doing?
They said today, actually, I was watching the news that in Massachusetts, like lawmakers want to get rid of it. They said it's an outdated practice that we're doing. And Watabe, you said you don't even do daylight savings.
We don't even do daylights here. Like I thought we were recording in an hour from now, but everyone in the entire country changed except for us.
Must be nice. My opening thought is there's been so much hype, overhype over the last few weeks. And the McDonald's crispy chicken sandwich is just so overrated. 100% overrated.
It's literally in a Chick-fil-A bag.
McDonald's has the money and the budget to throw it in your face and say, we're the best, eat here. And they have an app where you can get it for free. And I've already eaten 5 chicken sandwiches because they're free. But I would never pay for that chicken sandwich. It's not great. I'd rather go to Wendy's for a chicken sandwich. Overhyped.
What about Chick-fil-A?
Oh, Chick-fil-A, absolutely. But what was today? Today was Sunday, and Chick-fil-A is closed.
Oh, they get you every time with that.
There's a gas station right next to me. That's the best chicken sandwich I've ever had, and I'm not kidding.
No, literally, like those small places have the best stuff. I got one in Colorado.
They deep fry it right in front of you.
Die for. Do you like your chicken sandwiches with pickles or no pickles on them?
I mean, let's grow up. If you don't get pickles, come on. Do you not get pickles?
I don't get pickles on mine.
Why?
I mean, I'm just not a fan. I just wanted some chicken, man.
They say the secret.
But
the secret to
the one thing I do like having the pickles on there and taking them off because I like the little flavor of them, but I don't like the texture or anything of them.
But that's like Chick-fil-A. Their secret is like they use the pickle brine and then they marinate it in that. So you're having pickles anyway. So it's just a little.
Am I? I did not know that.
Yeah.
They're converting me into liking pickles.
Yeah.
A lot of pickle talk.
Just have
BB3.
one pickle next time with it. Just one.
I'll try one. Is it usually like 1 or 2 or 2 or 3?
I think it's 2. The classic's 2.
Does McDonald's put it on theirs too?
They do. They're just trying to mimic the
like literally we know what you're doing. Like stay in your lane, McDonald's. But my opening take, it's travel season. Sports are coming back. Plane tickets are available again. It's time to see the world and travel responsibly. I saw a weird commercial the other day where I was kind of confused because, like in a Bud Light or Corona commercial, they always ended with drink responsibly. Saw one for Expedia and they're saying travel responsibly now. So I guess that's like the new norm. We've talked about new normals the last calendar year now. So we're finally experiencing something that's kind of resembles normalcy from February, January of last year. Also opening take. Tyler's got a really nice lollipop there and looks tasty. Getting some sugar in his system.
I had to get something in my system.
Yeah, I kind of
I'm not gonna lie.
I need something too.
I'm trying to wake up bad. Here we go.
But
I need to talk about something that's infuriating. I just don't really know.
All right, yeah, we'll get that. We'll get to infuriating in a minute. I bet you'll have. I know we'll all have something to say about it. But something that's infuriating as of right now is Boston and New York teams. The Boston Bruins can't beat New York teams at anything, especially hockey right now. The Islanders and the Rangers have the Bruins numbers this year. I want to say the Bruins are something like 12-1 playing any other team that's not based on Long Island or in New York City. Because from recent biased memory, I think they've dropped their last 6 or 7 games playing the Isles and the Rangers It's pretty bad right now. They have their number, but I know we talked about this earlier. If the Bruins keep playing like this, they're not going to get the airtime. So if you guys don't want to talk about the Bruins, we'll can them.
I don't.
We'll move right on to.
They got obliterated for nothing. I don't want to talk about it.
We'll move on to.
I don't even know who they played.
I'd rather
Or
talk
when they
about that Celtics and Nets game.
Oh yeah, we'll get that. We'll
You
get
want to
into
talk
that.
about infuriating?
We'll get into hoops. No, we're moving into football because that's
All right.
that's what we talk about on Boston's Big Three. Patriots did some things this week. They did the thing that the fans didn't really like a lot. I was reading comment sections on Twitter all day after I woke up to the news.
Have you ever seen Pat's Nation so divided, 50-50?
Wait, but what's the news? Babs, break the news to us.
Well, Jonathan Bethel signed an extension. It's
Ah,
a great move for
that's the
special
one.
teams.
I was excited. I like that guy.
Cameron Newton is back with New England Patriots.
Ooh.
Signed a 1-year deal. So I had, and I won't eat up much airtime here because I can rant forever.
No, we
I
want it.
had at least 3 days now to sit on it. And I'm still at Stidham. And I'll get to the reason why later on. I've got plenty of episodes to do that. But the Patriots had to make this move. It's kind of like both looking at each other, right? The Spider-Man meme. Where Cam Newton's looking at Bill Belichick and Bill Belichick's looking at him. He's like, well, we need a quarterback. Like, because obviously Stidham's not cutting it. He hasn't proved anything.
Yeah, thank you for admitting it.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. He hasn't proved anything. But you have to have a quarterback going into free agency. If you can even lure anybody in here, it's like, well, who's your quarterback? Well, we have Cam Newton. And Cam Newton, based on what he signed, that $14 million was just thrown out there, and everyone's like, what the fuck's going on?
That's a lot of money.
But realistically, it's $5 million. Like, that's what it's going to be. The $14 million is like, you got to hit all these playoff incentives, Pro Bowl, MVP. That's not happening, right? It could, but it's not. So if that money that he signed, right, the base salary, $1 million, signing bonus, $2 million, that means that Cam Newton was not going to get picked up by any other team. They had to look at each other like, we kind of need each other right now. Now,
2 years in a row.
Now, yeah, and I look at Cam Newton as, this doesn't mean he's guaranteed to start because you still have free agency and quarterbacks can trickle through. You still have trades. You still have the draft and you still have training camp. That's a lot to still go and process. And as I said, Stidham, I still believe in the kid. And he's going to go and compete for a starting job. It's not like he's just going to go and be like, I'm just a backup. I'm going to let Cam. He's going to try to fight for it. If there's so many different ways to look at it. And I'll put a positive spin on Cam Newton because I've been so negative and I slander him. I just hope in this like good world, the Patriots nation, that you can use a quarterback. Doesn't have to be Stidham in this case. I don't care. But use a quarterback and Cam Newton. I would love to see like a dual threat. Play to Cam's strengths in 2021. Let him be the red zone quarterback. Let him be the goal line guy. Let him come in on 4th downs. I just don't think Cam Newton can last another full 16, possibly 17 games as the starter from start to finish. He needs his rest in between. I think he's a running back, but he's also a quarterback. Play to that strength, but find the quarterback that you can start, put out there, control the momentum, that can move the chains with his throwing. And then we have Cam Newton out there and say it was Stidham or say it's Trey Lance or whatever it ends up being. That would be great complimentary football because we've seen it a couple times. We've seen it, Marcus Mariota, Ryan Tannehill. We've seen it a little bit with Taysom Hill and Drew Brees. Like Belichick could run that offense. And McDaniels, and
I'm excited to see what it is year 2 because Josh McDaniels is a smart guy. I know a lot of people wanted his head last year. He's working with what he's got. You got to realize that. But I think the whole Cam Newton thing, I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of him coming back. I don't know if he's going to be the starting guy, but seeing where he's able to be after a full offseason, being in a Patriots system, being in a Patriots like offseason program, getting his mind, his body right, especially his immune system, if you want. Cam Newton, the first 2 games of last season, I was excited for that season with Cam Newton. I think you guys, I would argue you guys were too. He was putting up
that Seattle game. That Seattle game had us all. If you go back and listen to our podcast, we were all optimistic.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like this is what we're gonna see. Yeah, you're gonna lose some. That's fine. There's no problem. That's fine. You brought us there. Cam Newton brought you there, and he made a mistake or it just didn't work out.
No, the road got rocky. because COVID happened. Cam got COVID. He wasn't the same in this latter half of the season post COVID. I don't know if that's something you want to blame it on, but it's there. You look at like guys that have had COVID, it's definitely has an impact on these athletes and in their endurance for these major sports, especially Cam Newton, who's a running quarterback.
Now, I said the Belichick thing with like the Spider-Man meme, right? That pointing at each other. I think Cam Newton probably had a closed conversation with Belichick and was known like, we're going to put this in as incentives in your contract in case you win the job. We don't want to screw you over. Like, but just realize like you could be a backup here. And I hope that Cam can accept that because he probably knows that no one else is signing him. No one's taking him. And as his age creeps up a little bit, this might be his last stop in the NFL. And it's good to be here in New England, especially how the way Belichick's treated him over the last year towards the media. He's been so protected by Bill Belichick. So why would you want to go play anywhere else if you're Cam Newton? You just and if God forbid, Cam, you lose your starting job, be graceful about it, be a team player. And I've never hated Cam as the individual. Dude, the guy won the locker room over. A lot of players like him. People can just gravitate towards him, and that's what they want him to be there, especially with free agency. But I just think that his mentality sometimes he's a loser mentality. Like he just pouts and his body language is so off. And I hope that's what changes in 2021 is Cam Newton's body language towards being down and out in certain situations.
I know we talked about this a few shows ago. We still don't know who's going to start week one. It really is a coin flip at this point. I think those two guys are honestly on a very identical salary other than one's a rookie contract, but those two dudes are going to be battling it out.
And
Tyler,
I mean,
who do you think's going to win?
I had a side question that I was going to bring up. What does Taysom Hill's contract extension mean for the Jameis Winston trade?
So that contract is voidable year. So pretty much
that was like a $140 million contract.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's almost like a loophole in the NFL contract system. Because I had to read it too because I was like, what? So pretty much they saved cap space this year, whatever, like $9 million or whatever. Then next year, before like say March 15th, they cut him. They just cut the contract. They're like, oh, sorry, because it's not guaranteed any money. Wow. And I think it's based on if you can blow it up to this amount of money, that they can take his I think it's his regular cap or the signing bonus or whatever it was, and they can spread it out through 4 years. So it's something like that. It's made up numbers and make believe. They just kind of finesse
the Jameis to New England train. How's that looking?
I think Jameis to New England's dead.
It's over. Yeah.
Can you imagine Cam and Jameis on the same team? That would just be like weird and awkward. I don't think it would work.
The Saints are all in on signing Jameis Winston, which was said already. And I wanted to throw it out there because Drew Brees technically never retired. He did today because today marks his exact 15th year with the New Orleans Saints organization. That's why he waited that long. And now that they kind of restructured the Hill thing and now Jameis Winston's there, they're going to sign him. And I'm sure Winston's going to stay there.
I like that pick.
I also threw this out there on going back to Cam Newton. I threw this out there on Twitter, Instagram. Just, I like to throw darts at the board blindly. Cam Newton's contract, very team friendly. And they said that Jimmy Garoppolo was plan A. They tried going after Jimmy G and it fell through. But after free agency or getting closer to like the draft, you never know that could come back up again. And they could go to San Fran and say, hey, listen, I understand that you're going to give us a starting quarterback and you guys will have nothing. Like they're not going to go with Mullins or Bethard or whatever his name is. Hey, we have Cam Newton who started last year, who wasn't that bad.
I don't think you would trade him though. I don't think you would trade him.
But if you're going to Cam Newton saying like they're going to start you for the entire year in San Francisco, like you get to play out there, he gets a starting gig. Like that's what I'm saying is like this. There's got to be something mutual we'll never know about. But they're like, hey, we're signing you for now, and we want to use you as kind of a recruiter, and we'll see how it goes. Just like last year, Cam Newton was brought in like very last minute. Like
the team was already in place, and then Cam Newton was kind of the last piece to fall into place.
Yeah, and just again like Marcus Mariota gets cut, or it's draft day and Sam Darnold's available. Like there's going to be situations that are going to come up, and Bill's going to look at every single one of them. I just don't think he's going to truly build the team around Cam. He's just going to have Cam as a placeholder. You still have your rookie Stidham there, which means nothing, but he's going to start building the pieces for the offense that he can slip in the quarterback he thinks can be fit there.
That's a good point. I know the last 20 years you build a team around Tom Brady. do the Patriots have a guy that you're really building around? Like, this is your long-term plan. Like, this is the one guy you like lock him up and you just kind of put the pieces around him. Do you think they have that right now?
As of right now, technically no.
Okay.
Unless and it's going to come down to the draft. It's going to really come down to April and see what they do. And and again, in a perfect world too, Watabe and Tyler, is that they would trade up and get their starting quarterback for the future. I don't care who it is. Like, just get a quarterback in round 1. I would be, and I said this, and I go back to it. Bill Belichick deserves to be fired if they go 7-9 and have the same season. And I stick to that. I'm putting an asterisk on it because if you end up getting a quarterback 1, like if you draft him in the first round and you have kind of a crummy season, who cares? Next year, you're starting that guy. You know who that guy is going to be, and you know that they're catering to it. Kind of like how we've seen some of these guys like Pat Mahomes sat out for a year under Alex Smith. Even though they were still a playoff team, he sat out, and the next year, Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes. Look where he is now. And
you were kind of right about the Marcus Cannon thing. He got a place in Texas. You knew this. Thought he was going to retire down there. You didn't think he was going to get traded down there.
Except the retirement. But like, Twitter's roasting me like, oh, good, haha. Like, you said this was going to happen. It never did. It's like, well, the guy's not fucking playing in New England. Like, he's not here. I said he sold his house. No, he didn't. How do you know that? Then Mark Daniels puts out, yeah, Cannon sold his house last year. Like, this guy was never coming here. I just find this trade to be something down the line where I truly still, from what I've been told, Cannon's not playing this year. And maybe he shows up to camp. Maybe he pulls a Reggie Wayne. Comes in. I'm all set. See you later. They trade Deshaun Watson. Do you think the guy wants to play in the Houston Texans for the entire year? For $6 million where he already has money.
He's not going to play one game for him.
He's not. He's going to show up to camp, dick around. He'll have a summer camp. That's what he's going to do. He's going to keep him occupied. Also, don't forget that Marcus Cannon, he survived cancer at a young age and went through all that. He never flew up to New England to take his workout and his physical because of COVID-19. So what makes you think that guy is going to want to travel all around the country this upcoming year? Because the COVID's not going away. We're still in a pandemic and people still need to get the vaccination.
I mean, the season doesn't start till September.
Doesn't matter. There's still stuff going out. Does he just look at his health and be like, it's not worth it? I think that what's going to end up happening is in due time, could be August. There's no fucking date that says you have to retire on this day. You can retire whenever he wants to. We'll go back on this. And you're going to look at this trade and be like, wow, Belichick fleeced Houston just to swap picks around and move up 15 spots. 4D chess by Belichick. Wow, that's crazy. Like, that's how we're going to end up looking at it.
So you could have
right that he retires and no one will give me credit. They don't care because everyone moved on.
So you could have screwed the pooch here, and if the Texans got wind of your news that Cannon was retiring, they never would have traded for him in the first place.
Maybe I was a decoy.
You could have ruined the Patriots season.
Maybe they said, go out there and say something like, oh, that kid knows nothing. He knows nothing.
Yeah.
We'll get Cannon in here. We saw him squatting on Twitter. He looks great.
I wonder if your name ever came up during the trade talks. Like, Texans saw this guy online saying he's not going to play.
And if Cannon plays this year, it's because of me, because he's seen that and said, fuck him. I'm playing this year just to prove
just want to prove him wrong. We're boring.
Is it going to matter who's our quarterback if our wide receivers still stink?
I mean, no.
Let's be real. Our receivers are not good at football.
Well, so an interesting thing from Bryson, who has Title Talk as his little podcast, and he's the guy on Twitter. Pretty good name over there for the Patriots fan base. N'Keal Harry posted a picture of himself and it says, still him, #still him. Which he's trying to make it seem like, oh, it's still me, the guy that you know from college, ASU. I'm still him. But, like, why don't you post a picture of yourself in a Patriots uniform? Kind of hyping yourself up. Like, hey, I'm still here ready to grind. Like, why are you going back to the college thing? Why did you just buy a house in Arizona? Like maybe a little trade going on with Arizona and New England.
He may have washed up before Tom Brady, too.
Rundog threw this out there and said Christian Kirk for N'Keal Harry. Like that could be on the table. So, I mean, N'Keal Harry's days are numbered, and I'm pretty sure Cam Newton threw him under the bus at some point about his work ethic or something.
He's
like
lazy. I do remember that happening too.
So why? And if Cam Newton is your starter, guys, I know some of you out there love Cam Newton. He's the starter. Why would he want N'Keal Harry there? He said, no, he'll be like, get him out of here.
Yeah,
get
why
that
not?
bum out of here.
I'd be cool trading him for a 4th or 5th round pick at this point. Belichick lost another first.
What's exciting this week the Patriots are going to make moves and they are going to sign people and they're going to pay people. Like I said, Marvin Jones Jr., I like that move. He's a Matt Patricia guy as well, too. He's defended him nonstop in Detroit. I said T.Y. Hilton is a very cheap target you can go after. Some say he's done. It's over. He's washed. He's not the same.
Still quick.
Never know. I still think you can bring him on very cheap money. I know there's the Kenny Gallaudays out there, the top tier, the Juju Smiths. Imagine getting someone like Juju Smith. I know you'd say nah, but I just there's names. There are names out there.
Oh, there's a lot.
As well too. This was a great take on Felger and Maz this past week. It was Hunter Henry was going to be the top tight end in the market, but when you pay a top tight end, it's actually cheaper than paying like a top wide receiver. They make less money, less guaranteed money. So you can get Hunter Henry here, pay him the guaranteed $24 million, whatever it ends up being, and it's still cheaper than bringing in a wide receiver, and you can use him as a wide receiver. Yeah. But I said this as well too to everybody out there. And I posted about it. They spent a 3rd round pick last year in Asiasi. They traded up from the 4th round into the 3rd round to get Dalton Keene. So Belichick's looking at that and said, I just spent 2 3rd rounders last year on 2 tight ends. I might not want to go out and get that top tier tight end out there. A name that I just saw on a short list today of tight ends, Tyler Eifert. There was actually some talk that Bill Belichick liked Tyler Eifert in the past. Again, a veteran now that you can bring in on a cheap contract and just see what he ends up
4 or 5 games out of him.
Yeah, that's all you kind of
explodes again
till his ankle pops and he has a Dustin Pedroia injury.
But some people have mentioned in the comments saying like bring a veteran in to help these young guys, the 3rd rounders
that's
out
a great point.
A little bit. And you don't have to pay that guy much, 1-year deal maybe. That's all it is. And then, whatever happens. Like just like they brought in like the Martellus Bennett to come in and he had like 1 year, 2 years and like
1.5. They traded for him again.
Scott Chandler, they brought him in from Buffalo. Like he might not pay. I mean, if they want to pay, they should just go get Rob Gronkowski because he's a free agent.
That's true. Bring him home. You got his ring.
Bring him back home.
Yeah.
87's available.
I don't know. Do you think that's a good question? Will 87 ever be available again?
Yes.
You think?
Will. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, he's pretty good. Just GOAT tight end.
I mean, just like other numbers like 24, 11.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. Ty Law's
like
available.
54, 50. Like I just look at 12's done. Like no one's touched that. But I look at 87 as a number that's not going to get touched for a couple. How about number 4? Jarrett Stidham wears it. That number wasn't touched since Adam Vinatieri. That's a number that could have been retired. Adam Vinatieri was a big part and a big reason why they won 3 Super Bowls.
What about 11?
That doesn't get retired either. No.
You don't think so?
Nope.
I think 11 and 12 might go up there. It's a good combo. Especially if Edelman retires a Patriot in a year, I think there's a chance.
I understand because of the JE11 thing and like just his brand and having that number. And like you said, you retire a Patriot, but I feel like Edelman's the type of guy that would be like, I want to thrust this number upon you.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
And it still keeps them part of it, like rooting for anybody that wears 11s. And
kind of in their ear. That's a great point.
At Penn State. It's like Micah Parsons, LeVar Arrington, Navarro Bowman. Like it's called Stick City or something like that. So it's instead of retiring the numbers, just all these good people wear number 11. So look
at Ty Law with Stephon Gilmore. He's in his ear and he helps him out. They both wear 24. Like Darrell Revis, when he wore 24, there was some connection with him and Ty Law as well too. So it's just one of those. Bruce Lee with Hightower.
I mean, if Stidham's so good, we should just give him number 12.
I mean, Stidham was so good that they gave him number 4. Like number 4, Adam Vinatieri, the GOAT kicker. He's a Hall of Fame kicker.
He's got one leg. Stidham might too.
Gonna win the job. I cannot tell you how sweet it's gonna taste when Jarrett Stidham beats out Cam Newton. I just like, what's the excuses? And I said, in a perfect world, Cam Newton's also playing too. Like, don't get me wrong, but that would be the perfect world for me. Jarrett Stidham beats out Cam Newton because there's no excuse.
It's not going to happen. It's just not. I don't know how many times. I feel like it's a weekly thing at this point.
That's why Cam Newton was brought back, because Jarrett Stidham needs competition. No one better that already knows the system now. Oh, Cam Newton knows the system. Oh, he's a former MVP. He started all last year. If this does not, all the things, like the world's crumbling around Stidham, if this doesn't drive you, you suck. Like I've been on his back. I will stay with him till the day it's over.
You should get a tattoo on the losing arm.
It'll be the losing arm.
Yeah. Why not?
No,
You got nothing to lose.
I'm telling you, the kid's been out in California for over a month and a half. He's been with Jordan Palmer. He's working on. I did find this funny. The day that he signed, Cam Newton signed with the Patriots, Jarrett Stidham was doing a wine tasting in Napa Valley with Josh Allen, Sam Darnold. And
Sounds like a Drew Bledsoe thing.
And it's just this picture, like, because you see these from their wives' social medias and stuff. And Stidham looked like he did not want to be there. I think he felt sick. He's like, oh shit. Like, I should not even be here right now. He's got to get his ass back to New England and start practicing. Like, he needs to get back out here.
Got to get those reps. Cam's gonna beat him out.
And I want to know who's the first guy that's gonna fucking. You know how they did it last year? They all started having these little camps together. Who's gonna be the first guy to do it? Start doing it.
That's true. And Edelman will be back. Yeah. One year.
So there's certain reports that saying like he's the way he's been talking on social media, it seems like he's going to be back. Okay. He's been very supportive with the Patriots, and I don't see them cutting. They're not going to cut him because they lose too much money off of it. It's stupid to do that. And I don't see them trading him unless Edelman wants to trade, and then the Patriots have to get something really good in return for it. Maybe
but I don't think they could.
Maybe that's why Brady took a little restructure to get Edelman and take his contract on. I don't know. So they're saying that his knee,
I hope not.
It's more of a wait out process. Let him go through the summer. Let him go through OTAs. Let him go through training camp. Let's see how it is. I think Edelman stays. He plays, but he's not going to be the 100% Edelman. Just right. He's got to
take a step back, become that kind of player coach role.
Awesome. And
like Dustin Pedroia. I think I compare Edelman to Pedroia all the time, and I think he would be the perfect example. Edelman's not as injury prone. Like, yes, he probably averages 10 games a season, but I think that would be a perfect role for him, especially if he can't fulfill that contract obligation of being the number one receiver, because he's getting that kind of money right now for being a number one. But I think that would be a perfect fit for him. I think he could coach up guys like Demir Bird and Dame or those guys. I don't even know these Patriots wide receivers' names.
So it's funny because last year you lost a couple captains, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, Edelman will be a captain, and they end up giving it to Cam Newton, and that's fine. It's a team thing. And I think Edelman didn't want the captain and captains don't really mean anything to the Patriots. They don't wear the C's and stuff.
Right.
But I think Edelman needs to be a captain this year for the offense. Like, if you bring any wide receivers in, if you draft anybody, these tight ends, like Edelman really needs to be there and be the voice for these guys. And I hope that's what he does on his way out.
Right.
But if he wants to go to Tampa, what do you do?
God, I hope not. That would be a nail in the coffin.
I want to go play in Tampa. I want to go play with Brady. The Bucs are going to win the Super Bowl next year. We already said this so many times. They're getting primed to win the Super Bowl again. Would you not want to go play down there with Brady?
I would not. I'd be heartbroken. Brady leaving was gut wrenching. Gronk leaving was tear jerking. Edelman going down there, that'd just be the biggest kick in the balls.
I wouldn't hate if Brady won another one.
I wouldn't hate it. I'd be like happy tears if Edelman did it with him.
You got over that being a homer, right? Patriots homer, right? Oh, like, it sucks to see Brady go win it, and the Pats but wait, it sucks to see Brady win it. It sucks to see Brady win it, and the Patriots are like this. And now once you got over that hump and you just look at it and step back, you're like, fuck it, let him win 10. Let him just keep winning.
And that's what it's cool that all football fans are kind of feeling that same way. Like, there's probably some 70-year-old men out there that have seen enough of it, but they're like, this is greatness. Like, we will never see this again.
Tom Brady is not going. Even though he's not going to last forever. The New England Patriots will last forever. You'll have the Patriots 30 years from now to still root for that same organization. You won't have Tom Brady playing in the NFL 30 years from now, unless he's a cyborg.
You never know. I mean, do we even know if Tom Brady's human at this point? Because he's kind of proven a point where he's not.
Spike King, speaking about Brady, little fairy told me this.
He's a fairy?
From above. Hot rumor, hot take. Tom Brady got COVID.
Oh.
Tom Brady got COVID at the parade.
So he is human.
He is human. He got COVID. It's not out there yet. He's going to eventually release it. I don't know when he's going to talk about it, but that's just the little fairies from above in the dark interwebs that you
The
talk
fly,
to.
the flies on the wall are telling you this.
Tom Brady can't say anything right now. Not good
Oh,
for his brand. Not good
That's
for his
not.
brand. It doesn't look good. He's very anti-mask. He's a Florida man.
He is a Florida man.
He's MAGA. I'm just
Formerly.
he still is deep down. Still is.
Well, we can.
I don't know. I'm just that's the little fairies from what I heard.
That's interesting. Yeah, we'll see if that comes to fruition by our next show. But we can move on here. Let's get into some Celtics talk. The Celtics are a really coin flip team. They went into that All-Star break, 5-game win streak. The Jays played fantastic in the All-Star game. We could dive right into that. But then the win streak snapped at the hands of former point guard Kyrie Irving. You hate to see it.
This is what's gonna happen.
Oh,
Kyrie Irving is gonna drop 40 points on us from now until whenever he retires. That's just gonna be a thing. He got dragged through Boston. People thought he was overrated. People didn't think he was this. Kyrie Irving is still one of the best basketball players of all time. It's crazy. Like, just the most skilled player of all time. He's now he has the vendetta to go against the Celtics every single time they play. He's
out for blood.
Yeah. Another one, if you're looking at this Nets game and thinking that the world was over, nobody in the East is coming out other than the Nets. So it's just like, I'm not saying the season's chalk, but like, we're all right. Are you saying Philly? Yeah, right. Philly's going to beat the Nets. Or are you saying Milwaukee? Yeah, right. The Nets is going to be comfortably. So I'm not even that mad. Like, Jaylen Brown didn't play that well. It's the first night after all. Like, who cares? It's a meaningless game in March. That's the end of the day. I mean, if this was against a bad team, I'd be more spooked. But it's against the team that's going to win the NBA final. So let's pipe the brakes before we call for Brad Stevens' head. Today they just beat the Rockets. It was just a good outing. The Rockets stink. So that's each side of the poll. I don't know. I'm still not bought in on the team. I don't want Harrison Barnes. If we get Harrison Barnes, I'm going to be infuriated because he's not going to help us win.
The Celtics aren't going to trade for anybody. I'm convinced now.
The more time goes by, I know they're just going to hold on to it. The only move I'd make is if we get Grant, and even then, like, Vucevic is in the trade rumors every single year, and none of these years have I changed my mind about what I'm wanting him or not.
Magic are going to end up winning like 5 games right before the trade deadline and hold on to them.
Yeah, but also, like, Jason Tatum after the All-Star break last year was getting like 30 points a game in that stretch. So, like, I'm waiting for something like that to happen. And then COVID happened. But yeah, you never know.
Exactly what we're talking about Cam Newton. The problem is the stretch the Celtics have coming up. I think they've got 3 back-to-backs in the next 10 days, I think. I want to say. They've got a back-to-back next week. On Monday and Tuesday, I want to say. So in a 2-week span, 3 sets of back-to-backs, which is going to be brutal. So the Celtics may find themselves hovering around 500 for quite some time, but
plus Marcus Smart's back. Like,
Marcus Smart's back running the offense, and it's working. And the Celtics they have a 7-game homestand at the end of March, and fans are back. So that's going to be huge. That's going to be the point where they win 6 out of 7 games and start floating above 500. But
yeah, I mean, the sky isn't falling, but let me be very clear.
It's just
the Celtics
close.
team is not winning a championship. No team is winning a championship other than the Brooklyn Nets. And if you think otherwise, if you think it's going to be those jokes in Philadelphia, then that's not a mistake I've ever heard.
Oh, Philly's got 100% going to beat the Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals. 100%.
Says what? Yeah. Says what?
Says me. Says Spike King. Says me.
No, but what
with who?
What in Philly improved? Like,
I mean, Philly's this like second best team. I know Embiid's hurt right now. He's going to be out for a couple weeks. I don't know. I like Doc Rivers coaching. I think coaching will prevail. I think there's going to be a situation where coaching will win.
Do you think Steve Nash? Do you think Kyrie might have been right, and the Nets don't have a head coach? Steve Nash is just kind of hanging out there, getting courtside every game.
I look at the Nets. They're gonna win a championship, not this year.
This year.
Not this year. Next year, they'll do it. They're like it's kind of like LeBron when he went to Miami. I know they went to the championship in that first year, but they got the hard fought Celtics right there. Who's that? Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers is the coach. Don't forget that. Anyways,
did he win?
No. But they brought the 7 games, 6 games.
I mean, we can
first of all, you threw down. Oh, well, the Celtics just played. No, shut up. Shut up. The Celtics just played Houston. Oh, all right. First of all, The Celtics were losing against Houston tonight. They were like, how do you let that team even stay with you at the beginning of the game? And they blew them out because Houston's tanking on purpose. That's what they're doing. Number two,
16 straight losses.
That team, the Celtics team, coming off an all-star break, everyone's rested. You have the fully healthy Celtics finally, and you're going against the Brooklyn Nets, which, yes, they were like 8-1 without Kevin Durant, but they didn't have him again, and they didn't have Blake Griffin. That was your opportunity to at least eke out a victory against them, just like you were right before the All-Star break, to at least have some momentum for the season, to fight and claw, to bring some hope into the team. And that's when I say the Celtics should just tank. They're not going to go anywhere this season. I agree. They're done. It's over with. That was their season on the line. It's over. They have nothing. They got nothing to play for. Save Tatum,
but
save Brown.
The same people who are on your side right now.
You're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt playing.
Every
game from here on out is meaningless. It's meaningless from here on out.
Okay, but
imagine if we
won. Imagine if we won, and the same type of people who think like you. I would be the same type of people like, oh, you guys are celebrating the win without Kevin Durant. Like there's no winning in that situation. People are looking way too far into a game that's going to be like there's been bad Celtics games this year already. And I guarantee you can't name most of them because most of this stuff is forgettable after a couple of days. You're mad for the night. It's not like the NFL when it ruins your week. They play every a couple days a week. You'll get over it. It's the Brooklyn Nets. They're not even going to be coming close to any, the worst case scenario. They lose the NBA Finals. They're bounds and the leaps and bounds better than the second best team in the East. Philly is a joke, and if you think that they're beating them, that's crazy.
No, Philly
Talk. I respect it.
I don't even know. Yo, but as soon as Embiid gets back, I mean, watch. With Embiid out, they're gonna tank because as soon as about to be
Embiid's made of glass, man.
They're gonna tank, dude. They freaking completely dominated San Antonio tonight. They didn't need Embiid. There's games they don't even need him.
If you think they want to win the East, they need Embiid. They're not going to win the East without Embiid.
They're not losing all those games in a row. Philadelphia.
You're contradicting yourself. They need Embiid if they want to win the East.
They do need Embiid, and it's only a 2 to 3 week injury. They'll get him back later on.
No, the problem is the dude's made of glass. So in a regular 82 game season, he's playing, I think, average 40 or something.
Let him rest up
his
for the
entire
playoffs.
career.
We've seen this song and dance to Philly every single year, and you're buying into it. You sound like Philly. Every year, the media wants Philly to win so much.
Doc Rivers.
Every year there's a new addition. Oh, we got Tobias Harris, Al Horford, and JJ Redick. Oh, we got Elton Brand. Oh, we got Darryl. And every single year, there's gonna be Philly. There's gonna be a shot at the 76ers leading the course.
A salty green teamer because you know that the fact is on this brick wall right here that it's going to be Philadelphia versus the Brooklyn Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals. And that's an absolute nightmare for the Boston Celtics organization and their fans because you have to sit there and watch these two teams duke it out. It doesn't matter who goes to the championship because either one of them probably ends up winning it. And you're sitting there with your thumbs up your ass because you haven't won a championship since 2008 and I've only won one championship in 30 some odd years.
I mean, we do have to be thankful though, right? Because the Brooklyn Nets gave us Jalen and Jason. Imagine if that didn't happen. Where would we be now?
Probably
with Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and Blake Griffin.
James Harden. The people who are so mad at Danny Ainge. Yes, he has to he has to get off his hands. He has to make a trade eventually. But who are these people in the past? I wouldn't want Jimmy Butler on the Celtics. I wouldn't want Paul George. All the people that we could have had all this time. Those aren't people that I would want. You got to
find the fits.
However, you can't control because the NBA is literally a player-controlled league in the fact that PJ Tucker, the biggest anybody in the world, can request a trade. He hasn't done anything in his career other than collect shoes. And have the biggest sneaker. If being the biggest sneakerhead can get you a trade exception anywhere, stupid. But
Tyler.
Okay,
Tyler,
the fact that
the
fact that KD and Kevin Durant wanted to team up and go to Brooklyn instead of the Knicks. They had their mindset on Brooklyn. That has nothing to do with what Ainge could have done. So that's what the people don't get.
They have a nicer
if KD and Kevin Durant teamed up, that'd be a nightmare.
KD and Kyrie, you know what I mean?
I gotcha.
Listen, Tyler. So if you're all down and out and the Celtics are done, they're not playing for. What are you watching the Celtics for this year? What's something that you're This is the reason why
For
you
the
have
fun,
to watch.
I mean, I'm still watching them because Jalen and Jason are fun to watch. I want to see these dog players get off my Celtics team. Grant Williams, I'll pack your bags and buy your flight for you. Like they're so like Semi Ojeleye, friend of the program. Like they're all playing the best. They're all playing the best of their careers, so they can get traded. And Danny Ainge isn't going to trade until the offseason, and that's when their value is going to go down because they're going to get
sniping
exposed to
today, though.
playoffs, bro. Like, I don't know.
It is what it is.
Circle with this team.
The All-Star game was fun though. They dropped like a combined 40 something points. Did you watch?
Yeah, Jalen got taken out, so Giannis going MVP.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I had money on both those guys winning MVP, and they pulled him. He would have. I still think Giannis still probably would have ended up winning with that stat line. But what did you guys think of the All-Star game? Did you enjoy watching it? Did you enjoy the format?
The 3-point contest was fun. The way Steph Curry won that was highly entertaining.
His very last shot, that was awesome.
Dunk contest, very underwhelming. Dunk contest needs to go. I don't think they should have dunk contests anymore. I think they have to retire the dunk contest.
They're going to have it. They run into the problem like the NFL has with their entire Pro Bowl like scene. The NBA's dunk contest has been broken for a while, and we don't know how to fix it.
I'd rather see the dunk contest be like teams' mascots going against each other. How like Lucky jumps on the trampoline and dunks it. I'd rather see that.
Like the masked singer, and then you take the mask off and say,
yeah.
"Who is it? Who's the mascot?" Now that's an idea. I'm gonna call
Cassius Stanley jumped off of one foot, went in between the legs off the same foot he jumped on, and he got a 44. And by the time, like, I don't blame him for chalking the second one. If I was him for the second one, I would have punted into the 6th row and then put it on the camera. Like,
he made it look too easy. That was his problem. He's got the easiest bounce in the world. It just looks like secondhand to him. Like it looked like
the
average
judges,
guy going
the judges are there so they can be talked about. They should be. I liked the only thing like this dunk contest that I like is how they scored the last round. They didn't do any scores. They just said who won. And they should do that. They should do like 3 dunks per round, or like in the first round or something like that. Or
it's not number based. It's like who's whose dunk is in your mind. Like someone's gonna do, if they did do that, someone's gonna dunk something and it's gonna be like stuck in their mind. Like if you're the first
Anthony Simons showed that he can jump really high twice in the dunk contest where people notoriously jump very high. Not impressive. Like until Obi Toppin should have won. Cassius Stanley should have been in the championship. I don't know.
All you need is a big vertical, I guess.
The problem with the dunk contest is just the names. There's no big names for the casuals like myself to turn it on. And I just think that the dunk contest in my mind died the second LeBron James was officially like, I'm never going to be in the dunk contest because I want to see LeBron James in a dunk contest. I want to see big names. I want Jason Tatum in the dunk contest. I just want big names in the dunk contest.
The problem is all those big names declined it. None of them
they
wanted
all declined,
to.
and I
There's
get
not
it.
enough money in it.
Yeah. Like, what's the point?
And they should, if that's how you're gonna revive it, make it like $1 million challenge. Do something. Like do something to incentivize it.
Did you guys see there was a game in Atlanta the day before All-Star? It was a 2-on-2 between Lil Baby and 2 Chainz versus Quavo.
Little Baby ever raps about playing basketball again.
And Jack Harlow. That was did you guys Tyler sounds like you watched it. I enjoyed it. I think they could do more stuff like that. Because all these guys talk.
Little Baby is horrendous at
Little Baby looked like Babs touching a basketball if he had no hands. It was bad. But
only if you had no hands.
I think the NBA should like look into doing something like that. I think that was a Bleacher Report run thing, but it was fun. I enjoyed watching that. I enjoyed watching All-Star Weekend, but
don't get me wrong. I'll watch All-Star Weekend. I'll watch the dunk contest.
Always, yeah.
You're just like every single person who complains about it. Like, oh, the dunk contest stinks, and every year they're glued to it. Like,
yeah, it's fun seeing all these guys that you hear about on a constant daily basis when it comes to basketball, and just seeing them like sometimes they're fighting, sometimes they're upset about a foul call in like a real game, but seeing them all come together and just kind of like enjoying the moment. You see smiling faces every day. every day there, everywhere you look, like Steph Curry and Damian Lillard, they're just daring each other to shoot it from further, and it's smiles all around, and that's really what you want, to see these guys having fun, because if you look at other sports, sometimes their all-star games aren't as fun, especially like the Pro Bowl or something where you're not having people tuning in. The All-Star event is all for smiles, and it definitely delivered this year, except halftime.
I think they should keep it all on the same night. It's just a little bit better to have like that extended day like that. I know it's money, so like you can you want to have like a whole weekend out of it, but I think that was better just to have it all in one night.
The TV deals, yeah, I think it was fun as a one-off, but like exactly like you said, there's no way they're gonna do it again, because they can make triple the money if the same people are watching it 3 nights in a row versus just that one night. I also missed a celebrity all-star game, but the rapper battle made up for it the night before. Staying in the world of basketball, today is Sunday still for the time being. I don't know if it is for you guys. It's still Sunday for
Monday
me.
over here.
It's Sunday over here, so it's still Selection Sunday. March Madness is here. The next time we talk about basketball is going to be at least by the second round or Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament, which is, I'm so happy. I said it last week. I'm so happy it's back, man. We got some picks. I also have to flex real quick. From my understanding, none of the UMass schools are there. Penn State's not there.
I was gonna say it's a little weird not that the basketball
universities I went to Grand Canyon University. Give the Antelopes a shout out, and UConn, baby, the U is back. I got both my teams in the tournament. I'm excited.
Big Ten's the best conference in basketball. Penn State's not the best team in the Big Ten, or they're not even in the top half of the best teams in the Big Ten, so they didn't deserve it. And we also got robbed at the NIT this year. Robbed. We stink. We're not good. The one year we were good, COVID took it.
I don't know. Like 9 teams from the Big Ten make it?
I'm deep because I wanted a Big Ten team to win it this year. I just don't want Michigan and Ohio State. So I'm deep on the Kofi Cockburn and like whatever it is. I want Illinois to win it. I don't think they will. I think that there's so much hype around them right now because they just won the Big Ten championship right before they did Selection Sunday. Right. So like they were like, oh, this is the team.
They stole the first seed from Ohio State.
Gonzaga, always kind of a fraud team in the tournament. They don't play anybody. However, they're built this year. Georgetown, they're going to be a first-round exit, even though they just had that crazy run in Patrick.
I don't know.
There's all that hype. Creighton's a built team. I'm just trying to remember what I got at the top. Baylor, they'll go far. Iowa's going to be a first-round exit. Not first-round, an early exit. Luka Garza, I don't know what he's going to be in the NBA, but he's not going to do much of the tournament, I don't think.
My undergrad school's playing Iowa, and I think they're going to get smoked by 40.
Who are they playing?
Grand Canyon is playing Iowa. So that's an easy chalk it up. 2 seed to the second round, but I think mostly everyone does that anyways. What kind of upsets are you guys looking at? We'll go through some of our bracket choices.
Santos Barbara over Creighton, right? I don't have the bracket in front of me. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, you're going all over the place, dude. You're confusing me. I'm trying to look left and right all around.
I had some,
like you're just naming, rattling off names, dude.
UCSB.
I watched like 2
so
hours.
I have UCSB. Oh, in the first round.
Really beating Creighton. Creighton's really good.
Beating Creighton. I have US. Yep. I have Drake, who's got to play the winning game to even get there.
To play the first.
I have Drake.
Oh man.
I have Drake over Wichita State, who's gonna beat USC.
No, USC is gonna march that one. But
I think Bama's another fraud 2 seed.
UConn is gonna beat Bama.
This is gonna be a year.
UConn's gonna be Bama. Yeah.
UConn's gonna be Bama.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a year when either a 1 seed wins it comfortably and like a Gonzaga or something like
or an 11 seed wins it.
Yeah, or it's gonna be like a 6 seed.
So I get to drive home a little bit later now. So you listen to Fox Sports on the West Coast and they come on and they were talking about it one night and they were saying, you don't really have a lot of these, blue blood teams that are in this year, right? No Kentucky, no Duke. Was Kentucky in it? I don't think they were.
Kentucky, no Duke.
Kentucky,
neither.
no Duke, right? So you don't have some of these blue blood and some of these teams that were always really good, Kansas and all that. They're not as good as they, are because of COVID and stuff.
Yeah, like North Carolina too. They're there, but they're not dominant.
Exactly. So Gonzaga, the fact is that they're 26-0. The storyline for them, they could be the first undefeated team since Bobby Knight and back in the 70s. Like, it's been that long. So that's the storyline. And I like storylines, and I'm going with Gonzaga all the way because of going for the undefeated season.
You want a storyline, go with the team that I picked to win it all is the Michigan Wolverines. Is they lost a championship a few seasons ago. They're dominant. They're even better than they were before. I think they're going to be the team to come out on top. But
so I look at the East bracket down there with Michigan, and I have them playing Gonzaga. But I think Michigan is a little fraudulent, a little shaky the last couple games. But they're going to beat, the way I have it, they go beat LSU, they'll beat Colorado, and then they beat BYU. Which
it's
are
the hardest click I ever had to do on my bracket was choosing Michigan to beat UConn in the Elite Eight. I didn't like that. I did not like that. But I'm trying to. We're going to have the first perfect bracket here. I mean, if we all combined our minds, we probably could.
I also have Utah State beating Texas Tech, and then beating Arkansas.
Okay. I think the biggest upset I think people are going to buy in on, especially by the time game time rolls around on Friday or Saturday, whatever day they play, is in that South bracket with the Villanova-Winthrop game, because Villanova did lose their starting point guard, senior, averaging 20-something a game, like their heart and soul player, and you need that in college basketball. You need that in the NCAA tournament. So I think Winthrop's going to be a popular upset pick in the very first round.
I think those are the popular upset. Like, that's why I'm picking.
Right, it's a popular upset. Like honestly, choosing
everybody's going to pick Winthrop. Everybody's going to pick Colorado over Georgetown. Everyone's going to pick.
Upsets technically.
No, Georgetown's. I know. As a guy that's watched the Big East tournament this year, Georgetown is something special right now. They've got a freshman big, like 7-footer who's just turned into an NBA talent overnight. And I think they're going to keep that up into the first round against Colorado.
I mean, they also had to win and be in. Like, people forget that. Like, if they lost one game, nobody's talking.
They've got momentum. If a team's got momentum coming in that wasn't supposed to be there, they've got something to play for, like to prove that, hey, we really did belong here.
A team that needs to be looked out for too in the Midwest, Syracuse. They're going to go on a little run. They barely lost that game, I think, in the ACC, right? Buddy Boeheim, unbelievable. Like, he's been racking up like 30 points per game, and he got COVID. I guess he got COVID during the beginning of the season, and it took him a while to shake it off. I just feel like they're going to be in the Elite Eight. I think they'll go against Illinois.
Great minds think alike.
They're going some sort of run, and they'll beat Houston. Like, they'll beat Houston.
Great minds think alike. I do have Syracuse winning their first round game. Yeah, Houston dominated their tournament. I think they might get caught up
being like kind of like getting over that first hump.
I actually have Houston in the Final Four. Do you want to go through our Final Four teams? What do you guys pick?
I haven't made a bracket, but I'll take a quick look at the Final Four.
Yeah, just choose one.
Talk about March Madness and basketball. I don't have my bracket.
You ain't made a bracket yet?
All right.
Dude, I fell asleep right after Selection Sunday.
Gonzaga, Michigan.
Okay.
And on the flip side, Ohio State, Illinois, because we just came off that game, and I think that you're going to see that again.
It's a lot of one seeds, Babs.
Yes, I know, one seed heavy, but guess what? Sometimes it happens.
It's all right. Mine are all top three anyways.
All right, I'm going Gonzaga. I'm going Texas.
Texas is really good. They could steamroll.
They had COVID early in the year, and people forgot they were like crazy good at basketball this year. And then they just got packed yesterday before they getting. All right, and then region, whatever the Baylor one is, Ohio State's not that good. Like,
no,
people don't need to pretend they're that good.
I agree.
Like, this is one that it's going to be like in anybody. I'm going Texas Tech again. Why not?
Ooh, yeah, they're pretty good.
The Red Raiders. All right, and then the last one, I'll pick Illinois, and I think it's going to be Illinois versus Gonzaga, and I want Illinois.
It would be cool if Gonzaga finally broke through. But my Final Four teams are Iowa. I think they are as dominant as they appear on paper. And I got Michigan, the only one seed in my Final Four. But I think Michigan does have something to play for. I think they're the most built team. And I think they will finally break through, like I just said about the Zags. But Wolverines going all the way this year, winning it all versus the Arkansas Razorbacks coming in from the other side of the bracket. I think Arkansas is a sleeper. I think they need to be looked at as a serious contender. I think they make the championship, and they beat Houston to get to the championship. So Houston, Arkansas, Iowa, Michigan are my final four. I'm excited.
Tyler, we were talking about this as you were waking up. What do you feel about everything just being like the whole tournament in one pretty much state or city?
It's like a big AU tournament.
Isn't it awesome though? Like,
I don't know why they had to move it back. Like what? Like the Monday to Friday, Friday to Monday. Like it's gonna be sick on Monday, but like the Thursday to Sunday is just way better. Like the fact that they moved it all back a day, like I don't know, it's stupid. I like how it was all in one venue though. It's just like the bubble. It's just like a big AU tournament.
Do you think that they should do that going forward, like post-COVID world? Like just keep it like.
I like the actual like venues of like that, the fact that the North, East, West, South brackets actually mean something. You actually have to go play there. Just I don't know. I like the way the March Madness was before Corona ruined everything. I like the fans. I like the mayhem. I like the chaos. I like the fact that people could cough and then like the world would end.
And the fact that Penn State would actually probably be in the bracket.
No, let me tell you, we wouldn't. We would not be back. That was our 1 year ever. And
what happened?
Yeah.
COVID?
Fumbled.
Oh
away.
yeah, I remember you talking about this. That's
Big
heartbreaking. I wish. I'd be sad, but
we were like
some of these records are interesting. Like you talked about Winthrop, like they're 23-1.
yeah, and they're what, an 11 seed?
Yeah, and they're a 12 seed. And then you
12
got
seed.
like Colgate, 14-1.
Colgate's good too.
Seed.
Arkansas is my sleeper, but Colgate could beat them.
And then you got like Lola Chicago, they're 24-4. I had them over Georgia.
Fun fact. All right, fun fact.
If Sister Jean's still alive, I would take them.
Hey, I saw Sister Jean before she was cool.
Oh.
Loyola Chicago was the first college I ever got accepted to.
Oh.
And I toured it, and including with the tour. So this was 2017. Including with the tour, they give you a pair of basketball tickets. So me and my dad, we saw Loyola Chicago versus Wichita State. And it was super weird. You know why I realized I'm not going to Loyola Chicago? They did like all the lights turned off, and Sister Jean was in the half court of a wheelchair, and a huge spotlight turns on. She led the whole crowd in prayer, and it was like the prayers were like on the jumbotron, and everyone said a super monotone. It was just the most eerie thing in like the world, like bah, 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 da, da, like whatever they were saying. But
it's a Catholic school, right?
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
It was like the lights turned back on. I thought the Undertaker was gonna come out. Like, oh my god!
I was worried when you said you toured. I was worried you were gonna say like they got Sister Jean in a display in her little shell over there.
No. But yeah, I saw Sister
tour.
Jean before she blew up.
Heck
She
yeah.
big time the next time.
She pretended she didn't know you after. But I'm excited. I'm happy March is finally here. Sports are come back in full force. The madness is here, and it's gonna really start feeling like normal again here in a few weeks.
Will there be a COVID outbreak over the next couple weeks with a team that they're forced to be?
Yes. They have to get 7 days of negative tests in a row before you can even come.
I think there's
so from now until Friday they have to test negative.
68 teams total. There's already reports that Kansas and Virginia have had
Virginia couldn't even play in the ACC.
Yeah, they had a minor COVID problem, so we'll see if that turns into anything. Especially what you just said. If
I kind of wanted to see Duke go on a little run. They had to win like 5 days in a row, and they looked pretty good in like the first two.
They're a bunch of rats. You think there was actually a walk-on that got COVID? They didn't want to get smoked in the first round and be left.
I agree. No, I think it was the legacy thing. Like, no, we don't want to.
We ain't playing the NIT.
We had
better than that.
Unnamed walk-on. Yeah, right. It was Coach K's kid.
His name is the Spike King. Got COVID, ruined the entire thing. Yeah, it's totally a legacy thing. But
yeah, it's Hansborough. It's a small Hansborough for one of the kids.
We can wrap up here with our final thoughts. Go around the horn.
My final thoughts is get rid of De La Stevenson. I was dragging today. Like, I'm up now. Don't need to be up. It's 12:30 at night. I'm about to have to go back down, but here I am. We talk about the Celtics, a little bit of March Madness. I get a little fired up for nothing. Also, if you're listening to this and it's after 3 p.m. on this Monday, just do me one favor and tweet #BestBarChamps. It'll go a long way.
For UConn.
That's the only bracket I care about this March. That's the only bracket that Penn State's in this March. This is this Penn State champs. Vote best bar champs. Please and thank you.
I'm excited this week because it's free agency. It's literally just such a huge question mark what the Patriots are going to do. Legal tampering starts on Monday at 12 p.m. and they
Legal
have
tampering,
which has already probably been happening.
just
but
talking.
yeah, and until 4 p.m. Wednesday, and then Wednesday's the big day. We're gonna have all these different names signed. Everyone's gonna get their hopes up. You're gonna get sad. You're gonna be happy. There's gonna be rumors everywhere. The fake Adam Schefter tweets that everyone believes in. It's gonna be a wild week for the NFL, and I'm sure there'll be some trades. And we're waiting for Russell Wilson's probably gonna go to Chicago soon. It's any day now. They're gonna announce that. Yeah, any day that trade's gonna end up happening. So there's gonna be some big stuff. They're gonna try to hog up all the media attention over the next week or so. The NFL, they like doing that stuff. So I'm excited to see what the Patriots do.
Hopefully they do something. But my final thought, if you haven't, check out the BB3 page on YouTube. It's under Ride the Wave Media. We got our own playlist, but I'm starting to post travel videos from when I go on to these crazy events. Like finally posted the excursion up to Utah for the Jazz Celtics game. I'm going to start doing that for all the Boston's related traveling we do around the country, take you to different venues, show you the local area, try some local grub.
You need to get a sponsorship with GoPro. And they need to send you a camera, and then you take that camera and you use it
around the world. We're calling it the BB3 road trip if it's related to a Boston sport. But this week starts the BW World Tour because I'm going everywhere. We're going to see
It's the world what?
Exactly. I'm going to be bald by the time it's over, making Latino music. It's going to be a good time. But first one, we're going up to March Madness, going to the first round versus Maryland. Go Huskies. It's been episode.
If you guys don't beat Maryland, I hate Maryland more than any other school. To be honest.
We'll beat them for you. We'll put the house on it.
Stupid flags. I said flags with an L.
Okay, just making sure. Just making sure we wouldn't have to cancel you. Thank you for tuning in to episode 95 of Boston's Big Three. We oot.